Good morning. I'm going to be painting a watercolor card today, a little birthday card, and I know I want to use my bolder colors, and I am thinking of painting a radish. So it'll be a cute pun. Hope you have a rad birthday. So I'm just picking some of my favorite colors out. Laying down some saturated pigment. It's kind of a mix of some reds and pinks. Making it a bit lighter in the center. This is a Strathmore watercolor card. Just trying to get that shape right. And then gotta get that little root. Something like that. And then the most fun part, of course, are the leaves. So I'm going to use a mix of some of my mixed greens. And I want to bleed into that color. Those are the really wide, fun, organic shapes there. And use some different greens for this. Hi, Darlene. Thank you. Okay. Pretty happy with those leaves. Darlene, I'm doing wonderfully today. This is my last weekend where I have to think about work because my last day is on Wednesday. Aria, this is a very loose watercolor style, so I think it works out very well. You don't have to be precise, and it just makes it look even better. This is just summer vacation. We've got final exams on Monday and Tuesday, and then one last day on Wednesday. And then I am done until right after Labor Day. So I'm going to try and let this dry a little bit, and then maybe go in with some detail on the edges. Thinking about doing a little ink face, a little smiley face there, and maybe darker green once the leaves dry for some veins. I am a chemistry teacher, actually. So I taught AP Chem this year down to basic level Chem. Savvy, thank you for the compliment. What am I going to draw next? Happy green apple. That would be nice. I do have some colors that would look really cute for that. Darlene, I love Christine, the fluffy pigeon. We do follow each other. We are pretty good watercolor friends. Yeah. I know she's up in New York. Another nice watercolor friend is Bindi. She's another teacher. And Tracy, Traces of Water. Who else should I be following? Aria, you like sad apples. What does a sad apple look like? Just a sad face on an apple, or the ones that are a little bruised? All right, let me try and see. I don't even know if I need to add detail onto the radish itself, but I do want to add something to the leaves. Wandering Watercolor, I will look into that one. Oh, the little sad face. Okay. Well, let me show you some more of these bolder colors that I've got. These are paints made from plants or food waste. So this is actually a set of two. Let's see, what did I use over here? I want to use lemon, maybe not on this card, but it's just such a happy color. Look at those citruses. I know the black iris will glow in the dark, naturally fluorescent. I've got a whole bunch of greens from a March palette, March greens. I used a little of this red. I think that was the Middle Earth palette, maybe. I've had these colors for years. They've held up really well. The dot cards are a really good investment. So they're about, let's see, 12 or under. So dot card might be what you want to start out with, so that you get the same wonderful paint, but it doesn't break the bank and you get to use it for a while. So for bolder colors, I love her Halloween sets. So look at that. That's a cute one. And she does have sales once in a while. There's also discount codes and things like that to watch out for. So I do love my dot cards. This is Black Eyed Susan. This is one of my favorite yellows. I do have that in a bigger pan though. Is it in this one? I love her yellows. Oh, Darlene. So Hocus Pocus, Black Magic, and what was the other one? Let's see. Black Magic. Go through the broom cupboard. Let me grab that one. Look at those. That wood palette is really pretty. This is my absolute favorite set of colors from Bolder Colors. You could see how well loved that buckthorn berries color is. It's my absolute favorite green. And this one, the Ultimate Vampire Protection Kit. Let's see. One of my favorites is actually one of my first palettes. I gotta go find it. This Rose Gold Bouquet. That was the first palette that I got from Bolder Colors. All right, let me put that off to the side. I think I'm ready to add some detail in the leaves. I'm just gonna do a darker green. I have so many options. That's the hard part when you have so much paint. Yes, Holly looks worn out. Just using that mixed greens palette to come up with something a little bit darker. I actually don't paint fruit that often. I'm mostly a floral girl, so And that's why it's got to be very loose. I did see someone mentioned flamingos. I have painted flamingos a few times. I just thought of it because I've got this KMS palette. Look at those pinks. Of course, Flamingo Beach is right there. Aria, you love fly traps. Yes, those are carnivorous plants. I just saw them recently at Trader Joe's, and I always want to pick one up. Okay. That was by KMS. I love her metallics. That was Pink Paradise. You should do it. Lots for those plants to chew on. Get all those gnats and flies. Okay. I think I'll just make the little happy face on him. And then ink Have a Rad Birthday. Darlene, use my discount codes. They're going to be in my bio. Let's see. Thank you, Kat. Christine. Hi. We were just chatting about you here. Okay. Trying to think of what else I want to do right now. I should have some paper, so maybe just some quick florals. I'll do. Okay. New brushes. I really only use my Princeton brushes, my very first brushes that I got. I'm in love with my Princeton Neptune 8 for florals. I feel like I don't need anything other than this one. If I'm doing something small, I'll reach for my round 4, and that's kind of it. I used to really like my Petals brush, but I don't know, if I haven't grabbed it in a while, I tend to just, forget it's there. And, since I just dug out my inks, I haven't done this in a while. I found these again, so maybe I'll do something with my inks. Darlene, they're the ones that have the big belly, very sharp tips on them, like the mop brush. I don't know. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll still use my bolder colors since they're out. And let me do something real quick. Got this. Here we go. Now that lays flat. Okay. florals. That's the watercolor ink. So I'm really just going in with a wet brush and making some petal shapes, and then touching the ink that I put out on my palette from De La Rowney, and then touching the base. When I want to go really loose and not think about anything but making something pretty and simple, I'll just hit up my inks. This one is the quinacridone magenta. I feel like I could just use this and some green, and then I've got something pretty. I will go in with something else, though. Something gold. Thank you, Mary. So my other ink right here, yellow ochre. Now down to my round 4 for a stem. I'll use the bolter colors that I have next to me. Sarah, you couldn't even get an A in high school art. This isn't really anything like high school art, right? There are no grades. It's just whatever makes you feel happy. I wouldn't want to grade art projects. I think I had to work on multiple projects, multiple mediums in my high school art class. I remember we had a sketchbook, and then there was something with perspective and sketches, and then there was a watercolor page. It was probably the first real time I worked with watercolor, but I only picked it up 5 years ago. I think one of my dad's favorite things is the birthday cards that I make for him every year now. I saw someone mention a birthday gift or something for their dad. This is the perfect, bright and happy summer painting that I needed. Oh, I didn't actually add any of the KMS colors, so I'm glad you said something. I'm thinking about adding maybe Miami or Hot Mess now. something, some little bits of shimmer. So here we go. Let me know if you want to see Hot Mess or Miami in there. I think Miami would complement it really well, but Hot Mess would make a pop. So I don't know which one you want me to use. I'll wake up both of them. Okay, first one I saw is Miami. Any other votes? Two for Miami, all right. Okay, let me first see what is still wet. I know it's so hard to pick. All right, I will definitely get a bleed in this one, so. That one, and then this one still looks like I could get something in there. That's definitely dry, but I will add some splatter, which is right here. Oops, sorry. Just keep hitting the stand for my phone. There you go. Very hard to do splatters and not get it on the phone. There. All right. Yeah, that's really pretty. I can always go over this with some ink and really make it look completely different. I love doing that with some of my really loose watercolor pieces. Yeah, I think that's going to be the end for this one. So I'll post the finished piece with ink over on my Instagram. Thank you for joining me and helping me finish off this piece with some sparkle. I'll give you a little close-up. Darlene asks, so you don't always have to go back in darken the stems, right? I actually like the watercolor bleeding into the stems. Personally, I like it, but if you wanted to let it dry and go back, you could. Or you can just wait for the petal colors to dry and then go in with your green if you don't like it. But I like it. I think that's kind of the fun beauty part that you get with watercolor, just the unexpected bleeds that you don't plan for. Thank you, Nettie. I think it's gorgeous too. So I can't wait to add some ink and see what this becomes later. And of course, finish off this cute rad card for a very special birthday. So thanks for joining me today. I'll be back on here again soon. Definitely more often when I'm officially on summer break. So I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. See you guys soon.